In 2017, I quit my full-time job to do something more creative. I tried loads of different things, but it wasn't until I found the world of Cricut and started selling wedding decals that I actually started making a full-time income. It didn't happen right away though. It did take me a while to figure out branding, who my audience was, and how to actually make a profit. And I literally listened and watched everything I could about running a small business, Etsy, Cricut, and I made loads of mistakes along the way until I got to where I am today. I've actually put everything I know into a Cricut Business for Beginners bundle. It includes a step-by-step guide to create an engaging business that customers actually want to buy from, a checklist to make sure that your business is set up properly and legally, a handy cheat sheet with links to all of the suppliers you might need for your business, 15 editable Canva templates for all of your Cricut business stationery needs, 6 printable planner sheets to help you reach your business goals and organize your products, plus a bonus 100 Cricut business ideas list, which is actually only available for a limited time. I'm so super proud of it. And I really wish I had had something similar when I was just starting out so that I didn't have to spend as much time figuring out all of the little bits that go into running a Cricut business. So if that's something that you might be interested in, I will add a link to the description so you can check it out. But in this video, I also thought I would just go over a few of the key things that I think are important when starting a craft business with your cutting machine to give you an idea if it's for you. Obviously, this is just from my experience. It's not financial or legal advice in any way. And what worked for me might not work for everyone, but hopefully you'll find it helpful. First, get to know your cutting machine. Before starting, make sure you are fully confident with your Cricut or other cutting machine and have a good understanding of how to use it. You don't need to be an expert by any means, but getting a grasp on the basics will just help you figure out kind of what you want to sell, how long things take you to make, and what materials you will need for things as well. Even if it's just trying basic things like cards and vinyl decals, it'll give you an idea of what you enjoy making as well, which is really important. There are so many tutorials online. I have some here on my YouTube channel, especially if you want to get into vinyl decals. But I would also recommend Jennifer Maker, Maker's Gonna Learn, Layla's Cricut Creations, and Angie Holden. They're some of the biggest and best to check out, but there are tons out there. And if you have a Cameo silhouette machine, Silhouette School is definitely the best to help with that as well. Next, decide on an audience. Although you can, of course, sell to a variety of people, I do personally think it's easier to focus on one type of audience when you're starting out. It just makes it so much easier to cater your products specifically to them. And then you can also promote your products in the places they're likely to hang out as well. Plus, it's a lot easier to have a smaller range of products when you're just starting. Then you don't have to spend as much time and money making prototypes and testing things as well. Then when you have started selling more, kind of in the swing of things, it is easier to branch out if you want to. For example, I started out with weddings, but my customers do now come back to me for christening and birthday decals, as well as gifts for other occasions. Branding your business. I personally think good quality and consistent branding is really important because it makes your business seem legit. When I first started out my decal business, my logo was absolutely horrendous and I didn't really understand what branding was. So my Etsy shop just seemed more like a hobby than a business that should be taken seriously. It's really easy to design your own logo and branding in somewhere like Canva if you want to do it on a budget. And they have brand board templates like this that you can fill in with your chosen colours, fonts, and any other things that you want to represent your business. But if you have the budget and you really want to take your venture seriously, then you can hire people to do all of this for you. Or that could be something you at least consider down the line anyway. Do some research on products. Before trying to sell anything, it's imperative that you do a little bit of product research just to make sure that customers actually want to buy what you're selling. SEO keyword tools are perfect for this. You can put in your product type and any keywords that relate to what you want to sell, and you can see how many people have already searched for that term. I mostly use eRank for this to look at Etsy search history in particular. But then as well as that, you also want to make sure that particular product hasn't got too much competition. Obviously, a lot of products that can be made with a Cricut do have a lot of competition, because there's a lot of other Cricut businesses out there. But if you can find styles or types of the product you want to sell that don't have as much competition, or if you can think of a way to stand out, then that will give you a good head start on getting things sold. So on to the more serious stuff. This will differ depending on where you're based, but you will probably have to register as a sole trader or as a business in order to start selling and paying tax on what you're selling. If you're unsure on which route to go down, then it is best to check with your local tax authority to see what they recommend. This also goes for any potential licenses, permits, testing, and insurance that you might need as well. Although most craft businesses are quite straightforward to set up, and hopefully you might only need insurance and that's it. It depends on what you sell. For example, if you wanted to sell something that included food, that usually requires a special license. Or if you wanted to sell baby toys, then they will often require special testing first. Again, my bundle has a how to set up your business so it's legit checklist full of resources with way more information on this stuff if you're not quite sure where to start. How much to charge? Another important aspect to consider when you're starting to sell your products is that you're actually making a profit from the price that you're selling them at. It is helpful to look at what others in your niche are selling their products at, just to give yourself a ballpark figure. However, you do need to take into account the cost of your materials, your time, any fees if you're selling somewhere like Etsy. And then you may also want to cover like marketing costs, design software costs, machine maintenance, give yourself a little bit extra to cover any mistakes, plus a profit margin as well. This does sound like a lot of things and you might think, oh, that's going to make my products too expensive. But actually, if you work them out, hopefully they should only be a tiny amount per product. And you do need to make sure that this business is financially worth the time and effort that you're putting into it. It also helps if you can find good quality suppliers that you can buy in bulk from at a cheaper price, as this will make sure your profit margin stays high, but also if it's good quality, it means you'll get less returns and complaints from customers and you won't have to do as many refunds. Marketing is also a really key part of running a business. So do think about how you're going to show off your products to potential customers. Again, I think this is why it's good to have a specific customer base in mind, because, for example, if you want to target other local small businesses with what you're selling, you could post them in local Facebook groups or on LinkedIn. But on the other hand, if you wanted to sell like wedding signs, you would be better off posting them on Pinterest or selling at wedding fairs, for example. So that is just a super quick overview of things to think about. Obviously, it's a lot of hard work, but getting my Cricut and starting my business literally changed my life. So I would recommend it to anyone who thinks they would enjoy and benefit from it. And if it's something you've always wanted to do, but you haven't got around to it yet, the fact that you've watched all the way up to this point is a good sign that this is your year to start and to take it seriously. And again, if you really want to do this, but you're not quite sure where to start, then do check out my Cricut Business for Beginners bundle. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments as well. Please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe for more videos like this in future. And thanks for watching.